Alright, so today what I'm trying to do is I'm going to fly Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. I'm going to be in the Cessna 172 Skyhawk, which is the plane I'm learning how to fly. So I've pulled up the VFR map here. The basic plan for this flight is really simple. I'm just going to sit around and make sure that I'm trying to do everything properly in terms of aircraft preparedness and checkout, as well as taxiing. I'm going to attempt to make some radio calls, but I don't know, frankly, if I'm going to do those correctly, but I'm going to try my best. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to take off. Actually, I don't know what the name of the runway is. I know they're 28 and 10, and they're both, it's opposite sides of the same coin, so it's really one runway, but it's a 4,000 foot runway at 928 feet, so 4,000 foot. I actually don't know which one points which way. I know it corresponds to compass directions. So, logically 10 is the one that points roughly east. That's gotta be what makes sense. I'm sure I'm being stupid in some way or another. But okay, so I'll be taking off on runway 10. I'm gonna just basically go to 1000 AGL, and then I'm gonna basically just fly a simple pattern around the airport. It might be a little bit bigger than your standard pattern, just because I'm still getting used to the flight controls and whatnot. One thing that I do have to be really careful about, though, is I don't want to stray into Dane County Regional Airport's airspace here, because I'm basically flying under the shelf, and I really can't go into this inner area here. So basically, there's a highway, I think it's 12, that runs right through here. And so once I start getting up, I'm actually probably going to start my my first turn before I'm at 1000 AGL. But I might do it just after the highway as well, and then I'll make my turn and then go. I'm probably only going to just do one loop and then come back in for landing. But if I don't feel like the landing is going right, of course, I'll go around and do the whole thing again. This is going to be my attempt at doing things correctly. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot wrong, and I really want you to try to correct me and critique what I'm doing, because I don't want to get into a bad habit of learning the wrong procedures. But I do recognize that I'm not going to be perfect the first time, and I'm doing this in an effort to get better and, kind of teach myself how to do this. Of course, the point of this is to supplement in-person flight lessons, and to go along with the ground training that I've done already. But it's been a while since I've done the ground training, right? So I've probably forgotten a lot of things. And so we'll just go with that. Another thing is, I don't know how complete Microsoft Flight Simulator is in terms of aerodynamics. I know that it's a lot better than the previous version FSX, but I don't know if it's going to simulate everything properly. Another thing is, I don't actually know if the ATC responds properly. So I'm currently at an untowered airport, C29 in Middleton. So this is Middleton Morey Municipal Airport. So I'm not going to hear anything from ATC, and I'm not going to interact with Dane County. But when I do cross-country flights and I do interact with larger airports, I don't know if they respond correctly. I know that there's some AI that tries to do something, but basically when I do that, my role is probably just going to be to try to make the right calls, asking for approval to do certain actions and whatnot. And in the case that the AI doesn't respond correctly, I'm going to just assume that I have approval, instead of waiting and listening to make sure that I hear that approval. Which is, not something you want to get into the habit of, but for the purposes of the game, I think that's going to be acceptable. Next off, I don't know if it does weather correctly. And I know what I mean by that is, yes, you can port in real-time weather and whatnot that you want. Given that the fact is that right now it's like past darkness, I'm not going to be playing with real weather. I'm going to set the time back until like 10:30 in the morning. I'm going to make it clear skies just to make it easy on myself. And I'm actually going to make it 0 wind as well, just to reduce another factor from forcing me to pay attention to. So it'll be a really easy flight in that regard. But what I mean by weather is when this is going to be like a terminology thing that I'm forgetting, but I know that there's a way to hear the hourly METARs on the radio in the Cessna 172, and I don't know that if I set that frequency on the radio in the game, that it will actually read me that METAR. I don't know how to set the frequency on the radio, but I'm going to figure that out as I go, I assume. So let me just see that I'm reading this right here. So I'm still not sure. I hope I'm not reading this wrong. So I think 118.675 is the weather, and I think 123.0 is the common frequency for the airport, the CTAF. I hope that's right. Another thing to keep in mind, just to the south are these really large, I don't know if they're radio towers or something, but they're these really big towers that stick high up, and they're like the highest obstacles in each of their respective graph segments. So basically, I don't want to stray too far south. I'm not going to do that, though. I'm just going to fly the pattern. I'm just making sure that I know that these exist. Additionally, there are windmills to the north, so I'm probably going to make my pattern south of the windmills. That said, the windmills aren't that tall, so I think even 1,000 AGL will probably be above them, but I'm not 100% certain on that, and I don't want to get that wrong. I should actually be able to see that. It says 1548. I think that's referring to the windmills. Given that 900, roughly, so 928 is ASL, that means that the windmills are roughly 600, let's call it 700 feet tall. So that's actually much, much taller than I thought. Or, alternatively, they're on hills, which actually I think they are, because they'll get better wind that way. Okay, so they're probably up a little bit, so 700 feet. So at 1,000 feet, I would be flying over them with some clearance, but nevertheless, don't want to do that unnecessarily. Oh, okay, I got confused for a second. I thought this might be Middleton Morey, but no, it's not. Relative to the lake, this one is, right? And this one is Wanakee, right? Yeah, so I'm just going to stay local. I don't want to limit myself to just flying local in terms of other flights that I might do, but going forward, I do want to try to get some of this right to make it like an actual simulator, so that's what I'm trying to do here. So, let me load up the game. So first off, weight and balance. I have to select this now, or rather, let's go first. So I'm in Cessna 172 Skyhawk, max altitude 14,000 feet. I'm not going to get anywhere close to that. I'll probably max out around 2,000 ASL. Range, not even a problem, because I'm going to be just going a couple miles at most. Liveries I can't change, and that's only graphic anyway. So weight and balance. 50% fuel in both tanks is totally fine because it's a short flight. I could actually probably get away with a lot less than this, but Sure, let's set it at like 40%. I could get less. I could get away with less than that too, but I'm just going to do this for now. As far as payload is concerned, I don't have a co-pilot. It'll just be me, and I weigh roughly 230 pounds. But with clothing and with other equipment on and whatnot, I'm just going to round this up to 250. And then as far as passenger, I'm basically simulating cargo, but I'm not putting it all the way back. I'm basically saying I've got my backpack and like, you know, a couple manuals or something in the passenger seat on the right. I estimate 20 pounds. That's probably a little bit too much. I don't think I necessarily have to estimate this just because I'm way under the max takeoff weight, but I'm going to do that anyway. So it says max takeoff weight is 2,558 pounds, but let's see. I have the weight and balance form for the actual aircraft here. This is, I think, the one that I've actually flown, 3477 Echo. Let's see. Does it say? So it has empty weight, 1,500. Useful load. Okay, so that's at least pretty close. So this comes out to just under, like just around 2,500, which is less than what it's saying in the game, I think. Yeah, so this is saying that I have like an extra 60 pounds of weight that I can have, and I don't know where that's coming from. Although, no, it shouldn't. I was gonna say it could be some fuel calculation, but it's got the fuel calculation in here as well. I'm gonna ignore these numbers for the time being. I'm glad that it does it automatically, and I'm glad that it adds it in, but I kind of forget how to calculate this. I guess I could really easily back calculate it and figure out like how many pounds, or yeah, how many pounds per gallon it is. Looks like 10 pounds per gallon. I don't know if that's right. Let's see. No, it's not right. How did I get that? I took 134 fuel pounds and I divided it by, that's where I got it wrong. I divided it by 11, not 22, which is the combined, right? Because I have to use both the left and the right fuel tanks. Okay, so I've got 22 pounds of fuel on board. That comes out to about like 5 pounds. A little bit less than 5 pounds maybe per gallon. So 5 times 11. Okay, that's relatively close. Okay, maybe a little bit more than 5 then. Cool. Failures, I'm gonna set these all as not going to happen. In a more realistic flight, I would have these all on, because during a realistic flight, anything can happen. But for the time being, because I actually literally don't know if it like accurately simulates the likelihood of any of these happening as like, you know, pretty small, so it's probably not going to happen on this flight. I don't want it to actually happen, so I'm gonna set them all as no. But that doesn't mean that I shouldn't actually be thinking about these. For some of these, I actually don't know how to think about them. I don't know what a like an oil system failure or an oil leak failure would really, how that would influence the craft. I do understand sort of a complete failure, and so I guess in any of these scenarios, I'm just going to be thinking about a complete failure, which is, you know, your engine shuts off and you can't restart it, or you attempt to restart it but you can't restart it, and just thinking about not straying too far from a suitable landing spot, or maintaining enough altitude that you can glide to a suitable landing spot, or just making sure that you can see on the ground where you might go and scanning positions as you fly to make sure that you don't have to look for a suitable landing spot after the fact that your engine fails. For this particular flight, I'm not going to do that because I'm just flying the pattern around Morey Middleton. I guess worst case scenario, if the engine were to fail as I'm doing my my takeoff, I would probably... You're not supposed to turn if you're under like 500 feet. I might be able to turn and land on the grass, the turf runway, and that might be my best bet, just because it's roughly 90 degrees to the main runway. It's not quite. It might be actually a little bit more from 1-0. It might be more like 120 degrees. It's a 2,000-foot turf runway. Plenty of space, or the best amount of space. Alternatively, you could probably just... There's a little bit of space after the runway to land, but there's a highway ahead, and you really don't want to incur on that. There is a road. There's this thing called Century, or... Well, it's Century Avenue on one side of the highway, and I think Airport Boulevard or something on the other, and you could theoretically curve over and land on that road. But I legitimately don't know what I would really do if the engine failure were less than 400 feet or 500 feet. Once I'm in the pattern, though, I'm pretty much within glide distance of the runway, and that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing anyway. So I'm not going to be worried about the complete failure for this flight. As far as ATC options go, I have filled in my tail number, which matches the weight and balance sheet that I just showed you. For call sign, I actually don't know if the call sign is supposed to match your tail number, but I think it does, and I think you leave off the N at the beginning. So if my tail number is N3477 Echo, I think my call sign is 3477 Echo, or it could be shortened at times, I guess, but I'm just going to go with 3477 Echo. Flight number, I'm not going to register the flight because I'm just doing it as a pattern flight. If I'm doing a cross-country flight, you probably do want to file a flight plan. I think that's what this is referring to, so I'm just going to leave that off. And I'm not a heavy, I'm a Cessna 172, so I'm going to leave that off. And yeah, I do want my tail number to show, just for, I don't know, graphics. As for flying, I'm not going to do any like cinematic shots or anything like that. I'm literally just going to sit in the cockpit and do everything like I would. Okay, so once I've got that saved, I'm flying from Middleton to Middleton. I actually do want to take off on runway 01. I thought it was 10. I think that should be 10. Because they're 180 degrees away from one another, right? Because 28 and 10 should be the same runway. I'm like confident it's 10. Why does it say 01? So the way I understand this is that the last number of the direction is removed. So the runway's point, or the number of the runway, corresponds to the compass direction. And honestly, I forget if it's... I think it's the magnetic compass, but it could be a different compass, and I don't know. But I think it's the magnetic compass because that's what you would have in the air, and that's what you'd want. Okay, so let's call it that. So 28 would be this way, starting on the right-hand side, flying to the left, and 180 degrees. So 280 minus 180 is 100, so this should be 100, so 10. I'm like certain that's wrong. Okay, why does it... Oh! It's... There we go. Okay, I'm right. I'm right. Okay, I'm right. 01 and 19 are the turf runways. Got it. Okay. It is 10. Okay. So... Ooh, it does say that there is a little bit of wind and it's clear sky thing. Now, 2 knots is really not substantial wind at all. So, basically 0 wind. From 270 degrees, that is, over here, relative to the airport. And actually, I do not know what this means. 270 degrees, does that mean that the wind is coming from 270 degrees at 2 knots? So like this? Or does that mean it's blowing towards 270 degrees, like from here that way. See, this is something that I learned in ground school and I have since like totally forgotten. I think it means it's coming from 270, so this way, and that means that like ideally you'd want to take off into the wind, so you'd start at runway 28 and go this way, and then fly your pattern to the left like that. And that's I could do that. I was originally intending to go the other way. At 2 knots, it's really like no wind at all, so I'm gonna stick with my original plan, and fly this way. And the reason why I'm doing that is because in the like one flight, no, I've done 2 flights. In the like 2 flights that I've done in the Cessna 172, I have taken off in this direction both times, and I think it would be cool to do it that way as well. Now, in the attempt of doing it right, I probably should go into the wind, but like it's 2 knots. That's not wind. that's insubstantial, and it's at 270 degrees. It's not like it's at a like 90 from the from the runway. So this isn't going to make too much of a difference. 1-0, and then I guess we'll land 1-0 as well. Okay, I'm going to set 10:30 a.m. Flight conditions, I'm going to set to clear skies. I could have live traffic. This will probably only affect... Oh, but see, the thing is that because I'm setting the time differently, live traffic doesn't make any sense because I'm not in a live area. I could do AI traffic. You know, sure. There's probably not going to be any planes, but if any, they will be flying over the lakes towards the regional airport. Okay, that looks good. Why does it say 1640 here? That makes no sense, because I'm not at 1640. I'm at 923 feet, right? Anyway, time to get this underway. Load up the game. Okay, and this is something that the game does that I hate that it does this. It like automatically does all your checklists for you and then lines you up with the runway. I just want to like run through the checklists myself and then line myself up with the runway and then take off myself. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to undo all the checklists. I'm going to taxi back to where I was supposed to be, and then I'm going to shut down the engine and then do everything from scratch. Just because I want to do things the right way, and I want to get into the habit of doing things the right way. And again, I'm not going to do everything right. I know that, but I'm going to try.
477 Echo taking off runway 10 departing straight out.
Okay, see, it puts me on the thing. I don't want that. And it has my checklist filled out. I don't want that either. Alright, so I'm going to hide all these. Right. Okay, and then because I have to taxi back over, I'm just going to take off the wheel brake, and then I'm going to amp up the RPMs on the engine a little bit, but not like a lot. And then I'm going to basically do a turnaround on the runway, which is kind of sketch. Don't kill me! I'm kind of going off the runway here, but I'm fine with that. As I said, I'm just trying to, you know, taxi back. Of course, I would never do this on the runway, but I have no choice given what the game has done to me, so... I'm going too fast. Okay, so first off, I am using keyboard and mouse, so just keep that in mind. There's no way of doing rudder controls or braking controls in a way that is like not all or nothing. So that is actually one of the things that I'm going to have to keep in mind for during the flight, which is that, as I said, rudder controls are all or nothing. You can't just like slightly tap on the rudder in flight to like correct for like the left tendency of the engine. I'm aware that I'm taxiing way too fast, by the way. So basically, when normally you would use a little bit of right rudder to correct, I'm basically going to just use the ailerons, which I know is incorrect. Once I get the rudder pedals, that should no longer be a problem. This will also affect my taxiing ability, because basically it'll be a little bit jerky, and this will also affect takeoffs and landings. So it might be a little bit rocky, but hopefully the rudder pedals fix that once I get them. Alright, so I'm just going to pull up here. I haven't really pulled forward all the way, but call this good. Alright, I'm going to put the wheel brake on. Right. Hide this for a second. Turn off the strobe light, turn off the nav light, turn off the landing light, the beacon. Turn off the avionics. By the way, I'm not going to really pay attention to the avionics all that much because my my plane doesn't have these screens. I think it has like one screen that has like positions or relative positions of different aircraft that have like a transponder, which is helpful for spotting planes in the sky. But the thing is that it doesn't spot all of the planes in the sky. It just spots the ones that have the transponder, so you still have to like look around for planes. Just making sure that this is recording. It is. Good, okay. It would have been a bummer. So I'm not going to really pay attention to these. I think I will turn them on just to have them on, but basically in my plane the radios are a little bit higher up, and I don't actually know what else takes this spot, so... And then I guess I pull mixture to lean, and that should shut off my prop. Cool. And then I believe next step is alternator off, battery off, which shuts down the plane. Okay, so I'm just sitting here. Right. So now I have to actually do this correctly, and I'm not 100% sure how. Oh, first off, let me reset all the checklists here. So there's a way to do this. You just right. Okay. So I actually don't know how accurate these checklists are. I have pulled up. I'll cancel out this. I have pulled up like a generic Cessna 172 checklist. And I'm going to try to follow this one, I think. If it matches up well with what the game has, or if I don't know where something is, I'll look for it in the game one. But if it matches up pretty well with the game one, then I'll use the game one. But I wanna use at least like an actual existing checklist before I trust the in-game one. I also found a separate one. This one, it's slightly different, I think, but I guess I'll look at both. Right, so first off, pre-flight inspection, documents, arrow. So this stands for, oh gosh, airworthiness certificate. I'm going to assume I have all the documents with me, but I want to know what they are. Okay, so airworthiness certificate, registration, I have no idea what the third one is. The second R. Maybe radio license? The O is operating limitations, which I don't know what that means. And the W is weight and balance, which we've already done. Okay, let me just look. Aero stand for aviation. Okay, it is the radio license. That wasn't very helpful. Oh, the operating limitations might be like you can't fly over 14,000 feet or something. It's getting really hot in here, so I'm actually going to go turn on the air conditioner for a second, but I'll be right back. Hold on. I'm so sorry. I'm sure that'll add just the right amount of background noise to get in everybody's way. Alright. It's probably the heat from my computer because it's running Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. I think that's probably it. It's just outputting a certain amount of heat, and that's probably what's warming me up in here. Okay. I don't know if I went to the right section here. Operating and flight rules. I'm gonna assume that's... Well, it is pointing me there. Excuse me. Right, okay, so the flight manual and whatnot. Right. Okay. I wonder if that's something you can just access online. POH. Pilot's Operating Handbook. That's a long 502 pages. Okay, so basically don't go too fast, don't fly too high. Make sure that you have a certain amount of takeoff distance. Make sure that you have done your weight correctly. Okay, here's where the 2558 comes in. Interesting. Okay, so but then the takeoff here is a little lower. I think the discrepancy here is basically that it takes a certain amount of fuel to taxi around on the taxiways, on the apron and whatnot, and that probably consumes a little bit of fuel, so you can like fill it up a little bit more. But I don't know why you would do that. Like, this is cutting it so close, right? I would be well shy of this. I know that there's like a graph that you can plot for like different altitudes and different weight limits so that you know that you're within the operating requirements, but right now I'm so far under that I know I'm fine. So oil capacity 8 quarts. I think oil capacity has to be like at least 5 quarts in order to fly. Alright, well, pull that aside for now. I've got the documents with me. I'm going to assume everything's right, which is not necessarily what you should do, but I'm just going to do that. So this one says aircraft inspections. Right, so that I'm up to date. I'm within my aim requirements, right? The FAR aim requirements. Right, control wheel lock, remove. Right, okay, so the game, I actually don't think the game will let me do that. So I'm just going to remove the control wheel lock. Ignition switch off. Actually, I don't know if I ever turn that off. Where is the ignition switch? What's it pointing to? Oh. I suppose I should have turned this off when I turned the engine off earlier. Okay. Okay. How do I escape this now? Okay, ignition switch off, right? Avionics master switch off. What does this one say? Avionics switch off, okay. It is. Avionics are both off here. What does this one say? Avionics switch off. Good. I'm basically just validating. I'm checking, first off, these two checklists against each other to see, like, if they're consistent, and then I'm checking them against the in-game one. So I'm checking a lot of things. I know this is super boring to watch. As I get better at this, this will go a lot more quickly. But I just really want to make sure that I'm doing things as correctly as I can, and I want to make sure that if I'm doing anything wrong, it gets caught now before I make it a bad habit. Okay, so avionics off, master switch on, listen for electric gyro. I honestly would be super surprised if that had it in there. This one says master switch on as well. Okay. This one says battery switch instead of alt, just battery. I think I have to turn both of those on, but I'll turn on battery first and then I'll turn on alt, rather than just pushing both in like I think I would normally do. Maybe I heard something. I don't actually know what I'm listening for. I heard a beep when I turned on the battery. Okay. Flaps down. Fuel quantity indicators first. Okay, so I think this one is better. But let's look. So where are my fuel quantity indicators? Look. Where is it having me look? Oh, here? Ah. Okay, so left and right tanks, they're filled with basically 11 gallons of fuel. Okay, so that makes sense. And they're both at the same level. Right. So that's about what I expect. Take item. There we go. Let's see what it says next. Now this one says flaps. We are above 32, so I'm going to go full flaps. This one says flaps down. Okay. This one says low fuel. Where does it say flaps in here? Way down. Let's see, do these things matter? No. Okay, so I don't think the order of these things matter too much, but, okay. Put the flaps down now. Oh, you know what? I shouldn't put it at 100%. It said 30%, right? Hold on. Uh, 30 degrees. 30 degrees? 30 degrees. I think I think that actually means like there. Let's see, can I zoom in on this? 10 degrees, 20 degrees, full. See, okay. I would probably know this then. So maybe full flaps is around 30 degrees. I frankly do not know. And because I don't know, I'm going to set it to 20. No, I'll go all the way. I'll set it to 100. Hopefully this isn't the worst mistake of my life. You guys will have to tell me. Okay. Okay. On, check cooling fan operation, then off. And this one says fuel quantity. Okay, well, I already checked fuel quantity, so I'm good. Master switch off there. On, then off here. Okay. The master is this one, but I just turned these in. Hold on. What? Master on. Avionics on. Right, okay, avionics master. And on this one, it wants avionics off. Okay, so... Oh, and here. So it actually has this in there as well. It also wants me to check for fuel quantity, I guess, so... What is this pointing at? Left, vac, right? I do not know what this means. Okay, well, low fuel is not displayed, so I guess tick. Avionics switch on. Avionics cooling fan is actually going to be audible. Okay, so let's go check this out. Avionics master is here. Maybe I need to turn my sound up. I'm going to turn these both off again. Then I'm going to turn them on again and see if I hear anything. Or maybe I've already heard the fan and now I can't go back. I cannot hear any difference. But maybe it was already on. Anyway, the avionics are both on, so... Good. I don't know what that beeping noise is. So that's weird. Okay. Tick item. See, this is the thing, right? Like, if you don't hear a thing on your checklist, then you know not to fly, right? You know that there's an issue, or that you don't know what to look for, and thus shouldn't be the one flying. So this is the point where I'm like, oh, I should probably step out of the plane, find an instructor, ask them the question, you know, what am I supposed to be listening for here, or whatever. Maybe that hissing noise that I hear right now is the fan, or maybe I have to have my sound up turned like all the way. Let's try this again. I still don't hear any difference. I really have no idea. Okay, I am going to take this item for now because I do want to carry on and I do want to fly, and I'm sure that the game won't kill me because I set all those failure options to like not going to happen. But this would be a thing where I would want to find out, you know, what I should be listening for, what I'm doing, because I don't hear it in the game. Okay, so take them both off. Cool. Static pressure alt source valve off. I've never seen that thing in my life. And I don't know which position is on versus off. It's just another thing that I'll have to look into. Oh, right, I was going to do the... Okay, so after master switch... No, after fuel, then I turn master off, then fuel valve on both. Right, that's important. And then on this one, it wants me to check, right, the cooling fan thing, aircraft lights, check operation. Okay, so I'll do that first. Oh, I don't want to adjust my trim. Oh no. Lights, 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 lights. I don't know if there's a way for me to actually step outside the plane and look, but there should be a way to have the camera come out. Okay, so I see some lights here. Hold on, let me do these one at a time. Just to try it. Okay. So, without anything, I should see nothing. Off, 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 off. Where are the other lights? Are those them? Have I found them all? Okay. Now let's turn on landing lights and see what happens. It's daytime right now, so I don't expect to see much, but shouldn't they be, like, around the wheels? Or maybe these? Was that on before? Alright, cockpit. Turn off the landing lights. Go back outside. Okay, that's off. Okay, so those are the landing lights. Okay, so it has a co-pilot, but I don't want a co-pilot. I have no co-pilot. I did my weight and balance. There's no co-pilot. He's a mythical feature. A mythical figure, rather. This guy ain't there. I'm doing a solo. God damn it. Okay. Cockpit. Let's look at the taxi lights. It's the other light now. It's weird. So if I go in and I turn off both the landing and the taxi lights, then I'll have both of them. Okay. I don't know if that's correct, but cool. Nav lights. Right, green, and red. Red is on the left, green is on the right. Cool. That'll help, identify other planes in the sky, especially at night. Sort of like where they're going, if they're facing you, this kind of thing. Nav off, strobe on, look. Okay, yep, strobe light is on, and there should be one on the other side as well. Strobe light, cool. I don't know if you would actually walk around and check that those lights are working, but maybe you would. This one wants me to do all sorts of other things, so I'm going to look at these as well. What is the annunciator panel? No fucking clue what that just did. Okay. Fuel selector on both. Now, where is my fuel selector? I know it has a thing, but I'm looking for it first. No, 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 I don't want to do that. Oh, turn off the strobe light for now. Alright, where is it? Way down there. I was not looking. Okay. So, if I turn this, that's left. That's both. And then that's right. Okay. I'm going to be flying out of both because that'll work. Cool. Fuel shut-off valve. Cool. It's open. Pitot heat. The pitot heat doesn't need to be on, right? It'll make me turn it off. How do I check if it's working? I'm not gonna like go up and touch the thing. Those things get really hot. But okay, turn it on, and maybe look at it. I'm not even like sitting in that. Yeah, so it's like this thing. How do I check? Does it like? That seems. I don't know. Let's turn it off. Elevator trim. I think it'll have me do that later, but it wants me to be on takeoff here. Okay. I shouldn't skip steps though. Hold on. So it wanted me to do master switch off first, then do fuel selector valve to check both. This one wants master switch off, then fuel valve, right? Okay. I trust the online ones more than the site. But this one wants fuel valve, then battery switch. Okay, so let's turn this off. Okay, you do hear it winding down, so that must be the gyro from earlier. Okay. Just not the avionics fan. Right. I need a drink of water. I'm talking too much. Next, empennage. Right, so this is like the walk around. Okay. Apologies for the flatulence. So I don't actually really know what to check here. Even though it's describing it, I don't really know what to check. But I'm going to try anyway. So, first off, camera needs to be external. It's the only way I'm ever going to find anything. Actually, maybe showcase? No, I can't use my mouse then, so I'm going to use external. In order to make this easier, I'm going to go into my options and turn off the heads-up display, because I don't intend to fly around with this on, because I'll just be in the cockpit the whole time. So, what is that noise? Someone starting up? No, it's their like animated car thing. Okay, so I think this is in general, camera, heads up display, off, apply and save, back, resume. Cool. Right, so flaps are down. Okay, so first off, impennage. I actually do not know, and I'm actually going to turn off or turn down the noise here a little bit because it's fine. Impennage surface. Okay, so I know it's like something here because you start here and then you walk around the plane. I'm not going to be able to check everything just because, like, there's no way I'm going to be able to, like, move different elements of the plane by hand. And I don't even think I can open and shut the door. But I may as well look and see what empennage is. Oh, it's in the way back? That's weird. I was not taught to do empennage first. I was taught to do, like, get out of the plane on the left-hand side, right? Look at the left wing, check the left wing, walk down the fuselage, then do, I guess it's called the empennage, the tail, right? Walk around to the other side, do the other side of the tail, then do the fuselage on the other side, then do the right wing, you know, checking the fuel, then do the nose, check, and then go around. So the fact that this wants me to do the back, the empennage, the horizontal stabilizers and elevators and trim and whatnot first is actually kind of concerning to me. See, this one has empennage first as well. I think what's important here is not the order that you check them in. What's important is that you don't miss anything. And the best way to not miss anything is to do them in the same order every single time. And the fact that my instructors taught me to do it in the way that I just described, starting with the left wing, then moving down the fuselage, then doing the empennage, then moving down the fuselage again, then doing the right wing, then the nose, and so on, is the way that I'm going to learn how to do this. That's the way I'm going to do it here. So I'm going to ignore the order that they have them in here. I guess people disagree sometimes, but this is how I've learned how to do the walk around, and please tell me if I'm wrong, if I should actually be following this, but I'm going to do left wing first. Okay, so let's see, does this one have the same? Yeah, it has the same thing. Okay, so left wing, first thing is to check the main wheel, tire, and brake. In my Cessna 172, I actually don't think I've got these wheel covers. I think I actually get to just look at the wheel, because it allows you to see the brake pad. And, okay, so I'm not going to know a lot of this because it's been several months since I did the last, like, actual walk around, and it was basically the instructor showing me what to look for. And so I'm not going to remember all this. I'm going to try my best, but please, like, actually tell me what I'm missing, what I should be looking for, if you want. Now, the thing is, I'm not going to be able to see it here anyway. So, what I'm generally checking for is that the brake disc doesn't have a lot of corrosion on it, and that it's the right thickness. That the tire is correctly inflated. Okay, so, I mean, I can't really look at that, right? So, I'm just going to do my best there. Then we go to the underside of the wing, there is a little hole here or something, like a cap, and there's this container thing that you put up against it that you drain a little bit of the fuel out, and it's a sample, so you look, and you're basically just trying to make sure that there aren't any impurities in it, or any water specifically, because that can choke out your engine and kill it. So I think the water would sink to the bottom because the oil is less dense than the water. And I think the oil has, or the gasoline, the avgas that you put in here, is colored a certain color. I think it's colored blue or something like that. So the water should be clear and sink to the bottom. And so if you don't see any water, you know you're fine. Okay, and then you go to the top of the wing. You like stand on the strut or something, and you unscrew this little red cap. In my Cessna, I think it's actually a black or a brown cap, but you unscrew it, and there's like a wire that sticks down from this thing that's connected to it, and you basically you physically look inside, and you see that there is gas or avgas there. I mean, your instrument has already told you that there's gas, but you want to make sure that to actually look and check that there is gas inside, and it's at about the right level that you would expect. Then you make sure to put the fuel cap back on and make sure that it's secure. You check that your pitot tube cap is removed and that this is free. I don't know the next one. Okay, so I'll pull it up on the other computer here. Okay, it says the stall warning opening. I don't know. Let's look. Just gonna check that it's still recording here. Yeah, okay. It's really cool that they have diagrams of the horn here. Of course, not all the numbering is in place, but that's fine. Okay, so it's this one here, which is located. Alright. So I'm just supposed to check that this opening is, like, well, open and unobstructed. let's see how it works. Put your mouth on the airplane. And then applying a slight suction to draw air through the horn. It'll be clearly audible. And the clean cloth is typically dispensed with. Excellent. Alright. Cool. Full tab. Okay, let's go back and look. So it should be this thing here. Really hard for me to zoom in on this. This thing right here. So I'd like put my mouth up on this thing and like suck in and hear the sound. You know, I don't know why it's generating aircraft noise as if my propeller is running when it's not. But I guess that's just one of the bugs in the game. I may actually report this to Microsoft Flight Sim as like a, oh, my engine is making noise and it's not supposed to. But I won't do that now. I'll just note down that I should do that for later. Hello? I do actually want to do that. Alright, so that's covered. Fuel tank vent open. I do not know where this is, but I do understand what it does. Basically, when you run, your engine and you fly around, you're consuming fuel. And when you're consuming fuel, you have to draw that fuel out of these tanks, right? But in order for the fuel to actually flow, you need to allow air in on top, because otherwise it'll like create some sort of vacuum or not flow, and thus choke your engine. But where is that actually located? It might be this thing up here. But I legitimately don't know, so let's look that up too. Why would it be on the underside of the wing? I have no idea what it's looking at. It's like this little rod here. Once I figure all this out, it will go quicker, I swear. But I'm taking my time because I want to do it right. It's this little red thing. Okay, so this is the pitot tube, and it's like next to it. Pitot, there's nothing next to it. Maybe they haven't put it in the game. It's possible. I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is. I don't know what any of this stuff is. I'm gonna have to assume that they haven't got it in the game. But maybe it's like this. Like these things. So, let's just say I've checked that. Next. Wing tie down. Disconnect. Right. So, the wing is going to be tied down. Disconnect it. Take off the rope. Next. Leading edge. Check. So, here I'm looking for damage. If it was like wintertime, I'd be looking for icing and whatnot, but it's not wintertime and it's not cold, so I'm not. And it looks pretty good, looks pretty clean to me, so call that good. Let me know if I'm missing something, like if there's something else I should be checking for, if it's not just cleanliness, if it's like damage, if there's like some other thing I should be looking for here, but I think I've got it. Next, lights on the wingtip. We already checked the lights. Okay, so this is when you'd walk around and like check that they're on, I guess. So to make this, oh, but I've got the master switch off now. That doesn't make any sense. If during the earlier checklist, right? If we turn the master switch off, right? The aircraft light should be off then as well, right? So when we do the walk around, we wouldn't see the lights. So I don't know when you do that then. Okay. Next is wingtip. Just making sure that there's no damage here as well, that it's pretty clean. We're good there. Then we come around the back side of the wing, and aileron and flaps. They should be free to... Their movement should be free, but they should be secure. Okay, so basically what I'm doing is I'm, like, putting my hand on this piece and just, like, applying pressure in each direction, basically. Not a lot, but enough. And I'm basically just checking that it's secure. And then same with the flaps. Okay. So the next thing would be looking down underneath. I would basically just check that the cabin door and passenger door, if there was a passenger door, close correctly, that the latch, closes as I would expect, that there's no issue there, that the window is secure. Then I would look down the fuselage. I'm just still checking for damage of some kind. And then when I get to the back, this is the empennage. So first, check the empennage surface on this side. Really hard to focus on this. Making sure that there's no damage here. Also the underside. Right? Check the baggage door. So this thing here, I should have done this on the way. That's what I meant, not passenger door, but baggage door. So open this, close this, make sure that it latches correctly. The horizontal stabilizer. So check that this is secure. What is the difference between the horizontal stabilizer and the elevator? This is the elevator. Is this the horizontal stabilizer? Just this whole... This is the rudder, which is different. Okay, let me look. I want to make sure that I know the difference for sure. Okay, so the horizontal stabilizer is basically the whole, like, is the tail. Not the... I'm using the wrong terminology. It's this thing. And the elevator is like the little flap on that thing. Cool. Okay. So I'm basically just checking this part for the horizontal stabilizer. I'm checking this part for the elevator. And when the flight instructor walked me around and was showing me basically the movement of the ailerons and the flaps and the stabilizer and the rudder and whatnot, he was basically like looking at like parts on the inside and making sure that they were like firmly connected, and there were like wires and things that you're looking for that are like in place in the correct. And there's no way I'm going to be able to see that here, and I don't even remember what to look for. So that's something that I'm just going to have to ignore for now until I get back to actual flying. Okay. So then I would go check the rudder. I would check that the tail tie down is removed. I would check the rear lights, which actually I did not check before, I think. And that the antenna are secure. Hold on, I'm actually just going to go back in. I'm going to turn on the masters. I'm going to turn on the lights, and I just want to check that that light in the back works. Should it work? Like, should this be on? These two? I just turned on all the lights, so they should both be on. This one might be on. Maybe I did something wrong. The beacon light. I didn't turn that one on. Let's look out. There we go. Okay. So that's the beacon. And then this one is now off. Whatever it was. This might be one of the nav lights. Yeah, okay. And I hear the gyro again, so that's good. Cool. Next is the ELT antenna. Maybe this thing? I don't know what the ELT antenna is. Emergency locator transmitter. Sounds important. Huh? ELT. Oh, it's like up there. So it's this thing right here. Okay. You actually can see a couple of the things in here, which is kind of cool. Some of the rudder controls. Hey! And you can actually see the number now, too. That's nice. Alright, I'm gonna quickly use the restroom, but I will be back. I'll leave you with a shot of the rear of the aircraft. Right, so now we check the other side. We check the impinged surface here. We check the baggage door. Oh, it's on the other side. Okay. We check the horizontal stabilizer. So this. Wait. What's the difference between the impinged surface and the horizontal stabilizer surface? I think maybe the impinged is just like the whole back, so I'm just checking this area as well. This area as well. And then this is the horizontal stabilizer. Then we've got the elevator. We've got the rudder. I already checked that. We've removed the tail. Oh, you know what? That's what those things are. Those little hooks. That's for the tie down. That's for the tie down. And that's for the tie down. Okay, cool. Right, so I've already undone the tie down. And I've already checked the lights in the antenna. So we're good. Okay, so now I move to the right wing. I check that the flap is free and secure. I check the aileron is the same. I check the lights on the wingtip, which I've already done. I check that the wingtip here is like smooth and free of damage. I check that the leading edge is secure, not secure, is undamaged and is clean and doesn't have icing and whatnot on it. If there was icing, you probably wouldn't want to be flying. Let's see. The wing tie down has been removed, or no, I removed the wing tie down. I then look at the wheel. I'm checking once again that the brake pad is the right thickness and doesn't have corrosion on it, or doesn't have substantial corrosion on it. I'm checking that the tire is correctly inflated. And doesn't appear to be damaged, so that I don't like see like, you know, threads in the tire. So it has like the right treading on it and whatnot. Oh, I'm gonna do the fuel drain on this side as well. Checking for purities and whatnot. I actually don't know if you have to check both sides, but because the tanks are separate, I think it's probably wise to check both sides. Do the fuel drain, do the sample, right? Go to the top, unscrew this thing, check the quantity, make sure that it looks about the same as the other side, that it looks about the same as what you'd expect. Then make sure that this fuel cap is secure. Then I'll go around to the nose. I need to check engine oil, and I have no idea how to do that. I think we pop the hood open, and that there's like a little cap that we can, basically just like a car. But let's look. Cool. But that's not what I was looking for. What the hell? So there's like a little hatch that opens, and then you like... Oh. Okay, let's look for that in the game. Let's see if there is that. Okay, so this little thing here doesn't like pop the entire thing. It must like open this little hatch. I don't see the hatch though, to be honest. But okay, maybe it's this hatch here that you can see, and that there's some way to pop that open. That looks more like the right shape too. And then you unscrew the cap, you check the engine oil. Cool. In my checklist, it actually says minimum 6 quarts, but I believe the number is 5 quarts, like it said online. Strainer drain. Sample / check. fuel selector, drain valve, sample. This is the fuel tester thing I was talking about earlier. I didn't know you had to do it underneath as well. Maybe to make sure that between the tanks and the engine itself that it's fine. I'm going to assume that that's correct. So I check underneath as well. I cannot get underneath this thing, so you'll just have to assume that I got down in there. Next, the prop spinner. So just making sure that this thing doesn't look damaged, that it, you know, I don't want to spin it, but, you know, just move it a little bit and make sure it's fine. Air filter, check clear. So I think the air filter is this thing here. Yep, okay. Right, so I make sure that that's clear. I check the landing light. I already checked the landing light. Which is... No, this was tax... Yeah, this was the landing light. Alright, cool. Nose, strut, tire. Right, okay, so I'm making sure that the nose strut doesn't look like it has damage. I don't actually know what to really look for here. But I guess if I see anything abnormal, that's something to check. I'm also checking, as I did with the other two tires, that the tire itself doesn't have damage on it. I don't believe there is any brakes on this one. I think the brakes are just on the rear two tires, so here I'm just looking at the tire itself and making sure that that looks okay. And then the static port, check that that's open. I have no idea where the static port is. Okay, let's look. Oh, right. Right, okay, that makes sense. It's in a location that makes sense. I should have known. Let's see. It's this thing, then? Right here? Is it on both sides, or just the one? You would only need one, right? So that's the static port. I'm just making sure that that little, like, pinhole is clear. I was also taught to look... it doesn't say this on my checklist, but I was also taught to look directly in these holes here, and, you know, if there's a cover, remove it, but if there isn't a cover, especially if there isn't a cover, look to make sure there's no bird's nest in here. And the instructors seem to imply that this had happened, like, several times before, so just make sure that these are clear, too. Right. Okay. Right, and so I've already checked all the way around, so at this point I climb back in, and I'm in. I've done my walk around, and I'm untethered, and I'm good to go. Now I have done my pre-flight. So now I am checking, first off, am I buckled? I don't have anyone flying with me, so the guy who was sitting here just a second ago that you saw from the outside is not sitting there, so I don't have to worry about him, but I'm making sure that my seatbelt's on. I'm not going to make it too tight. It's not like a car seat in that way. I want to be able to move around the cabin a little bit. And in fact, I probably don't even have to have it on until I'm like kind of taxiing, but I'm going to do it now just to be sure. Fuel shutoff valve should be on both. I've already checked this, but it's on both. The shutoff valve, though, is this thing, right? Alright, so it's open. Avionics switch is off. Electrical equipment is off. The circuit breakers... I don't know where to look here. What does that say? I guess make sure that there's no, like, lights. That none of these are, like, on. It's alternator. That's different. Okay. Please let me know if I'm doing this wrong. I think I'm just checking that these lights are all off. That I don't have an error there. But, you know, let me know. And then brakes. Set them. So, brakes, that would be off. This is brakes on, including the parking brake. So we should be good. Next. Mixture, rich. I think that's rich. Might be too rich. Carb heat, cold. Do not know where my carb heat is. Whoa! Pardon the flatulence. You don't have to smell it. I do. I'm already being punished, so don't worry. Carb heat. You know what? I totally forgot my in-game checklist. Hold on. Let's look. Tick. 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 Yep. This is actually pretty accurate, you know? Idle cutoff. Okay. I'm gonna leave this for now. I'm gonna go back to my online. I have it open on the other computer, so that's what I've been reading. But I still need to look at where the carb heat is. Oh, it was this little thing? I don't seem to have that little thing. It would be right here. Where's my carburetor heat? I wonder if it'll have it in here. No. Doesn't. Also, before I start my engine, shouldn't the master switch be on? I've been following this pretty closely. But yeah, so cabin was master switch off, then I go through the whole pre-flight walk around. Then I, you know, check before starting the engine. The electrical equipment should be off. Then it says start the engine. And then I switch. Okay, the master switch comes on before I start the engine, but after I do my carb heat thing. Okay, I still have to find the carb heat thing. I see the little thing that it's looking at, And I have no idea where it is on mine. This is actually what it looks like. Okay, well, I think I'm going to just assume that it's already off. But this will be something to find at some point. I honestly, I don't want to like give up on finding this, but I legitimately cannot see this thing. Please let me know if you see it. Carburetor heat. Come on, man. What's this do? No. Also, by the way, I have no idea why this thing is not aligned correctly. You know, that is super problematic, actually. You would not want to go flying with this thing being broken. You know, especially if you're expecting IMC conditions, which I'm VFR, I'm not going to go flying into IMC conditions, but like in the off chance that you end up in it, you really want to make sure this thing is working correctly. You would not want to go flying without it. Oh no, I just adjusted the trim accidentally. Okay. Seriously though, carb heat, man. Is this throttle? Maybe they don't have carb heat? Alright, I'll just make sure to ask people who might know. Okay, so master switch on, beacon light on, prime as required. Okay, so I know that there's a way to basically pump a little bit of, I believe it is gasoline, through the tubes, through the pipes. I don't know what the correct terminology is there. Into the engine itself, into the cylinders, and it's like 3 squeezes roughly, maybe 3 to 6 squeeges. But I think it's, I thought that there was like another priming thing rather than it being the throttle control. But let's look it up. Apparently we're looking up everything today. Oh, I probably, hold on. I don't want to watch a YouTube video because I'm about to post this onto YouTube, and I don't know if I'm allowed to do that, to be honest. See, there's a thing called primer, right? It's next to the master switch, it seems. Or in this guy's thing, on the other side. I think mine was down in here, though. Mixture, carb heat is down there. Carburetor temperature. Engine primer next to the mixture. But yeah, it is a different thing. Okay, so I mean, I'm right about that. If you look, this is where that carburetor thing was supposed to be if you looked at the other thing. And as for the primer, I honestly don't see the little squeegee thing that you're able to push, you know? So I'm gonna add that to my notepad. Maybe print screen. Take a screenshot of this so that I can post that to the forums and be like, hey, I have no idea. Okay, I hope this works, because otherwise it's kind of stupid. I have primed it, I guess. I wonder if that's the primer, like squeezing that in. I thought squeezing this in is what allows you to adjust the mixture control. Throttle open to 1/8. Shout clear, and then switch my ignition switch. And I don't know where my ignition switch is, so maybe I shouldn't have said clear yet. Where? This should probably be in the checklist. Hold on. Right? Tick. Yeah, I did. I did do it 1/4 of an inch. Maybe once more. I'm gonna put it back to where I thought it was supposed to be. Mixture, idle cutoff is like a little lower, I think. Clear. I'm actually not supposed to just shout clear. I'm supposed to like look around, right? And make sure that it actually is clear. You know, I'm like making sure everybody's not in my way, and then shouting clear. Battery switch is on. Beacon's on. Mixture is rich. Cool. Okay. Pump on 3 for 5 seconds, then off. Oh, so it has a fuel pump for this one. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tick. Mixture lean. Does that correspond with what it was saying earlier? So it wanted mixture rich, and then it wanted me to inject the fuel into the engine, so prime it, and then it only puts mixture at lean after the engine has already been started. You hit ignition, and then you check the oil pressure, and then you put the avionics switch on, and then you put the radio on, then the transponder on, then the wing flaps up, then the mixture to lean, and then you're ready to taxi. So it wants me to have the mixture at rich here, and here it wants me to have the mixture at lean, but the mixture at rich when engine starts. What? How does that make any sense? See, this is one of those things I don't really trust. So take item, make sure that you're ready to brake. Well, my parking brake is on, but I should probably also brake as well. So that's weird. I'm trying to do both at the same time, like so. If I'm like even off by a second, it goes weird. Okay, so take item. Now it's the ignition. Look, the ignition is that key. You would set the magnetos to both, I think. Or no, you'd set it to start. Okay. So you just turn it all the way over to start. Now you don't want to wait too long between injecting the fuel and hitting start, but... Okay, so I'm going to hit start. I'm going to check the oil pressure. The mixture is rich. I just want to make sure. Adjust throttle to 1,000. Oil pressure. Where am I going to find the oil pressure? Right, it's this thing here. It just needs to be in the green zone. Right, so if that comes on. Okay. And let me just check. Where am I going to see RPM? Yep. So 1,000 is just here. Okay. That appears to have worked, which is great. It is about at 1,000. Cool. Mixture still rich. Okay. Oil pressure is climbing, but not really high enough. Oil pressure's low. I know I'm supposed to wait like 5 seconds or something for this to climb, but like it's not high enough. So this would already be a stop, right? Like I would be like, this isn't right, I need to fix something, I need to check the pumps, I need to you know, put more oil in maybe. For now I'm just gonna note this down. Maybe someone will have the answer to this. For now I'm going to do the unsafe thing and just say I'm fine and move on. Which is, again, not what you're supposed to do, but I'm going to do it. Alternator. You know, some of this might be just limitations of the simulator, but we'll see. Oh, so I was only supposed to change the alternator to on now? I don't know if that sounds right. Oh, it is on. Alternator indicator? Off. Okay. What did it want me to do? It wanted me to clear prop, start, oil pressure check, avionics switch on is what it wanted me to do next. This is having me check all the other things though, so I'm going to do this first. Ammeter. I don't know what this is supposed to look like. It should be at 0. If it indicates a discharge, the alternator needs work. So, it needs work. Because as I see it, it's not at 0. It should be right there. Okay? I'm gonna add that to my note sheet. I'm not gonna let this stop me now, but I'm gonna do an unsafe flight in my Cessna 172. But I'm gonna ask for the forums. Okay, now it reads 0, though. Uh... Uh... It's weird. Alright, ammeter, check. Avionics switch, on, right? This is now back on what the checklist that I have online reads. Cool. Radios on. And set them. So they appear to be on. But that's an issue. Alert. What? What am I doing wrong? I don't know what ADF stands for. It's kind of cool. Is this like a compass calibration? Yeah, I guess so. It's weird. It's a little bit off. Noted. But not that much off. But a little bit. Total hours? Only 90? Bullshit. Should be at like 3,000, right? April 2020? Alright, yeah, that's fine. It's normal right now. I'm gonna ignore that for now. So this is my transponder. And I guess these are the radios, which is unfortunate because I want to use the radios that I have, right? Hold on, let me get up for a second. Because I actually ordered a radio panel for this purpose. I don't know if it'll get recognized, though, by Microsoft Flight Simulator. I haven't tried it out yet at all. But basically it has your active frequency and your standby frequency, and it has dials that let you set them with your fingers rather than having to, like, try to do that while you're flying in-game by, like, clicking things. I'm not going to bother with this right now, I don't think, unless I can't figure this out. But next time I go flying, I think, and when I say go flying, I mean in-game, I think I'm going to have this figured out and installed and whatnot. Now, I can't help but playing with it right now. I'm, like, removing the tape from the different displays and whatnot. The cool thing about this, and I know you can't see it, but the cool thing about the radio panel is that not only will it allow you to, like, set things manually, right, and have it update the in-game scenario. If you update the in-game scenario with the keys and whatnot, it will actually update the box as well. I've heard that the dials are, like, notoriously difficult to turn, though, so I might have to, like, bolt this down. Maybe I will bother with this right now. I don't know if it's just plug and play or if I have to, like, restart everything, you know. I would not be surprised if it's restart everything. But actually, let me kind of be fair. Why won't this tape be coming off? I know this is exceedingly boring to watch. So I guess while I'm working on this, I'm going to give you an external view of my system. There you go. I've got the engine started, and I'm a happy man. There you go. Oh. There you go. That looks cool, right? Alright, I'm gonna go back to my little radio panel here and see if I can get this damn tape off. Seriously, this tape is like on here, man. I'd hope if I had fingernails. Fuck. Maybe I just leave this little tape thingy on. No, come on. Oh, actually, I'll show you what I'm looking at. Hold on. I'm looking at this thing. Right here. So what I was just doing was I was peeling the tape off of these little displays, these 4 displays. And now I'm unscrewing the bag with the screws in it. So yeah, let's see what the reviews say here. FYI, the 2 knobs on the left are pretty stiff. Like, every single one of the reviews says this. And I've tried them. They're insanely stiff. See, but the thing is that radio panel does not exist in-game. At least on my Cessna that's in-game. But I wonder if it'll change it for the like nav displays as well, the avionics displays as well. Okay, so what does this do? So I've got to screw those in so that this thing stands up. And I don't think this comes with a screwdriver. Actually, it does. It comes with a little hex thing for you. Alright, so I'm gonna dump this out. If I'm doing everything realistic and I'm making this the most boring video possible, I may as well just do this right now. It's got little, like, Velcro things on it. Where do the Velcro things go? What? Maybe... You know what? Instead of, like, bolting it to the table, I could Velcro it to the table. But I would have to know where I'm going to Velcro it to first. So I think I'm not going to do Velcro right now. But I should still do the screws. Oh no, there's all these little, like, O-ring things that have now poured everywhere. Alright, I found them. So I've got 4 of them. That corresponds to the 4 things. And I guess the O-ring goes between. That is weird. Okay, and then I've got different screw lengths. 4 of those. 2 of these. Oh, I actually have more O-rings than I thought. I've got 6 O-rings. Okay, so I guess I use the longer screws then? What are the shorter screws for? There's no manual, by the way. I'm just, you know, figuring it out. If this isn't plug and play, and I mean it just says in this review, it definitely is not plug and play. But that was with FS 2004. We shall see if it's plug and play with FS 2020. We shall see. Okay, so I don't think I should use the smaller ones. I think I should use the big ones. Yeah, it has to go all the way through. Okay, so I drop this down. Doesn't actually need the hex screw at all. I don't know why they gave me the hex thing if these aren't hex screws. Like, that is weird. But I just put these in. Okay, so that seems ready. And then I should probably wire this around the back, just so that the wires isn't in the way. Oh, alright, reaching around, pulling it through. And then I gotta plug it in. Oh, gosh. Okay, hopefully this doesn't, like, crash my entire game. It might. And if it does, I will reload, come back in, go through the whole thing, but I won't do the whole walk around again. I'll just assume it's all like it was, which is careless, I know, and not what you're supposed to do, but at this point, I do want to go flying. Which is, again, pilot error, right? You don't want to have that philosophy, but it is a simulator. I'm not going to die for real. Right. So I just plugged it in. There's no, like, on or off switch, so I would have expected it to just turn on. Maybe it's in options, maybe it's in controls. Radio. Damn it, does it not? The dials are so stiff. I'm not seeing numbers on this thing anyway, so I guess I don't know why I'm twisting these. Does that not supply enough power? Maybe I have to plug it into the main PC? I don't think that should matter, though. It's just a USB. But we'll try it. Still not turning on. Weird. Let's go look, see if there's any, like... Alright, I'm gonna have to figure this out later, because it's not as simple as plug and play. Or maybe it is, and maybe I'm a stupid idiot. But I'll have to go try to figure that out later. Okay, my other computer needs to be plugged in now. Great. I've gone so long. This has got to be the slowest pre-flight, like, briefing ever, right? Like, in the history of aviation. I'm not that bad. What? Is it now recognizing it? I just unplugged it. What? Escape? I don't want to do that. I mean, that's weird. Alright. Let's go back in. Right. Okay, so I have to set the radio. Somehow manually. And I don't know what any of this means, so I think I'm just gonna start hitting buttons. Or hover over things. What are the frequencies I need anyway? Let me look on the map again. I was actually just reaching for my actual map that I have in person. 118.675 and 123. So I think the common frequency is already correct. And this would be the weather. So is the highlighted one the one that I'm speaking on? I don't know. Oh, you know what? Might be these. Is it already on max? Yeah, okay. I don't know how to change the frequency. Alright, let's go look. You know, this is going to be useful, I think. Hopefully. I mean, I may have to undo that in a minute, but... I mean, it may not have what I'm looking for, but it looks like it has some useful things. I mean, what's this? Yeah, I don't want to watch the video right now. Okay, so ultimately unhelpful. Unless I watch the video, I guess. I don't know. I'm used to having those knobs where I can just, turn it and adjust the frequency that way. What if I, type numbers?
Charlie 29er traffic Cessna November Tree 477 Echo is taxiing to runway 10.
I accidentally hit the number 1, and it apparently transmitted something for me, which is not great. I'm not doing that yet, and I guess this is the shortcut, so I hit 1, and that's why it announced the taxi. Okay. So how do I change this number? Is there a radio panel that I'm missing out on? Nope. If I plug that in again, will this show up here? Only takes a second to plug it in. No harm in trying. I did just plug it in. It did make a sound. Still don't see anything up here, though. Okay. Okay, so I think the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to set the highlighted one. I think it's the highlighted one that's the selected one. This is the common. I'm not going to listen to the weather right now. I actually don't know the key to activate my... those actually aren't what I'm used to. I'm used to having a little button up here that opens the radio and transmits on the radio. Hold on. Controls. Okay, is it just... C? That's weird. I'll look this up. I can increase and decrease the nav frequencies, but not the comm frequencies? What? That doesn't make any sense. I mean, this will be helpful. Okay, so I think C is broadcast or transmit. Shift Alt X, Alt U. Shift Alt X does nothing, and Alt U switches them. Okay, so that's good. Shift Alt X. Huh? And then let's just check C. Hello, hello, hello. See, the transmitting light doesn't come on. I think this is so that I can talk to the co-pilot, but I guess I don't need that right now. So actually I don't understand what this means at all. If I'm on, what is it? So this would be, if I'm on 1/2, does that mean I transmit on 1 and I listen to 2? Vice versa? If I'm just on COM 1, does that mean I'm only listening to COM 1? Okay, so because I can't figure this out right now, this is something I'm going to have to figure out another time. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to do radio commands, or I'm going to attempt to, like, say, what's the, I'm so tired, what's the wording for this? Another thing you shouldn't do, never fly when you're absolutely exhausted. That's not a good time to go flying. But again, for the purposes of having a little bit of fun in the evening after a long day of also playing Microsoft Flight Simulator, less professionally, I'm going to go forward anyway. A lot of things wrong with this flight, but it's fine. So basically, I'm just going to do my callouts to you rather than pressing any of the buttons, like I probably should. So yeah, I'm totally unpracticed with how to, like, speak on common. So the way that you do it is you say the airport name, then traffic, so that who you're addressing. You give your call sign, who you are. So I would say, I'll do that later. Okay, and then, like, what you're doing, like taxiing to the runway or departing from a given runway or whatnot. If you're departing, then you'll give you, like, the direction of your departure, and then you repeat the airport name at the back. So, like, an example, I think that is correct, and I please correct me. I do not want to be doing this wrong. I don't want to be learning the wrong thing. But for this case, because we're at Middleton Morey Field, I would probably say Morey traffic, 3477 Echo, taxiing to runway, Morey, and then that's it. And I don't know if I have to be that precise. I don't know if you have to tell other people that you are taxiing, for instance. I don't know what the common things to say on common are, right? So these are all things that I probably should be finding out and asking people. So let's look. I'm learning, or I'm making mistakes, and I will be learning in the future. Also, this seems to have fixed itself, which is good. I don't know why it was not working before, but I guess it's working now. Also, does this, okay, I've calibrated it. Or if I was going to take off, I would say Morey traffic, 3477 Echo, departing runway 10. What's the direction of travel? Entering the pattern, Morey, something like that. I think we just say Morey for the airport name rather than like Middleton Municipal Airport. But I guess you could say Middleton Municipal each time, or Middleton, and that would work too. But I think the locals say Morey just because it's Morey Field, historically anyway. Right. Checklist. Open this up again. Radios are on. The transponder is at 1200. Flaps. Right. Okay. Yeah, I need to go back to my checklist. Where is the checklist? I just had it up on the other computer. Okay, right. It wants the transponder, the radios, wing flaps, just like this one. I don't know why it had me take them down before, if I'm just going to take them up. But I guess it's to check that they're working, and then, like, look that they are working. And I guess I should check the other one, too, right? Tick. Heading indicator. I am roughly south right now. How do I push this? What does this do? It's moving this little tick down here, and I have no idea what that means. Someone tell me what that means. I'm just going to leave it where it was. Tick. Altimeter. Okay, so it's a clear day, right? I think it's 299 or 2. Where do I look for this? Right, 29 or 9 or 2, pretty much. Cool, and elevation is 923 feet, so that's perfect. Okay. Attitude indicator. Yep, calibrated. Okay. I don't know if you have to turn on taxi lights and landing lights when it's not dark outside. I think it's probably just generally good practice anyway. So, what are the next steps here on my other thing? On the other thing, it says mixture to lean, and then you're ready to taxi. I don't want to shut off my engine, though. But I guess I'll put mixture to lean. I don't know what lean is. Like, all the way out? Does that shut off the engine? I think it does if you starve it. I'll do 36%. What is lean? That's my question for the audience here. What the F is lean? In fact, I'm gonna. Cool. Now it says I'm ready to taxi. I'm gonna just check. Doors are closed. Yep. Brakes are currently on. Yep. Flight controls. Oh, yeah. So I'm supposed to check that when I do this, it has an effect on... It's super hard to do this, by the way, while I'm looking. Okay. So let's look. Okay. Ailerons there seem to be working. And then on this side... oh shit, I can't see out. Alright, let me just look out then. I would normally like bend over and look out the other side, but let's see it. Cool. Those are going. And then rudder probably as well. There you go. There's no way to do like halfway or something. Like it's all or nothing when you hit it on the keys. So those are my flight controls. I also want to check the elevators. Hold on. So there we go. There we go. Alright, so my flight controls are working properly. My flight instruments are set properly. My fuel valve is on. The mixture, it says set to rich for takeoff, but this is for taxi right now. Okay. So, next step is finally to taxi along to where I need to go, adjusting the throttle as need be and taking my foot off the parking brake. So, we're finally off and about. Okay, so... I'm adjusting throttle as necessary to get myself to move. Oh, there's a plane right there. Okay. I probably should have remembered that. It was so long ago that I pulled in here. Oh, that's not like a ramp that I can use. Okay. Fine. You know what? I'm actually just gonna put the engine back at idle again. I want to look at the map, and I think it might actually show me, right? So there's some buildings in the way here. But basically, I need to taxi back over here, and then down to the end of the runway, right? Okay. Oh yeah, and fuel, I've been burning fuel this whole time, right? Yeah, so I'm a little under 11 gallons now, but I am still fine for this flight, so I'm good to go. Okay. Good to remember. I'm trying to taxi again and move. Why am I not moving? I'm at like 1,000 RPM right now. Okay. I'm at like 12,000 now. some of these airport lights, like this one, seem misplaced. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I don't think that's supposed to be right in the middle of the taxiway. I feel like I'm taxiing too quickly again. I'm just gonna go all the way down to the end of runway 10. Oh, you know what? I totally forgot to make my taxi call. Morey Field, 3477 Echo, taxiing to runway 10, Morey Field. Better late than never, I guess. Need to pull forward just a little bit more. I mean, I guess I don't have to pull forward a little bit more. Just trying to go up to the whole short line here. Right, okay, so now I'm gonna look. I'm basically making sure that there's no incoming traffic. Looking the other way. There's nobody trying to land here either. And then I make my radio call. Morey traffic, 3477 Echo, runway 10, departing to the pattern, Middleton or Morey Field. Okay, and then now I set my mixture back up to rich for takeoff, and then I pull forward. Oh, that's too much. The control's a little laggy here. Okay. Just gotta pull forward again. I've got plenty of runway, so I could just do my takeoff roll, but I'm gonna line myself up with the middle, apply the brakes, and then scale up to a good amount of power. So one thing was the instructor basically said, don't like just ram it into full power immediately, but like ease it forward, I guess, and maybe don't go like to like full power, but like most of the way to full power. So I'm gonna try to do that here. Okay, call that good. And then roll. Again, keyboard controls. I don't have like differential power on the rudder, so I'm just really trying to do my best here. You know what? I don't think I ever turned on my taxi lights. Too late to think about that now. Alright, so I'm watching my airspeed. Oh, no. Okay, so a few things went wrong there. I wasn't looking at the airspeed indicator well enough, so I sort of went a little faster than I wanted to on takeoff, and then I also steered too quickly and my nose got pulled up a little too far. Anyway, here is the highway going underneath, Highway 1214. I'm going to use that as the opportunity to start my turn into the pattern. Morey Field, 3477 Echo, entering pattern, left. I actually don't know what this turn is called. Oops. Okay. Or downwind turn, I guess. So I'm trying to use my turning indicator to turn standard rate, 30 degrees, roughly. I'm still climbing. And then I should decrease engine power a little bit at this point, I think. And I'm looking at my heading indicator to make sure that I basically go parallel to the runway. So I know that the number on the runway was 10, so if I point to 8, that should be opposite the runway. So somewhere like in here, roughly. And then if I look out the window, I definitely went too far. Okay, so maybe I made a mistake. Oh, that's too much of a turn. Okay, and then as far as altitude goes, I'm a little over the pattern height now, so I definitely need to reduce engine power a bit. Probably to around 1800 RPM. So that's 2000. There's 1800. So pattern altitude is typically like 1,000 feet over, and I'm currently at 2,300, so that is like 1,300 feet over. So I'm kind of going back down a little bit here. I wonder if I can see the telephone poles from the air. Probably not in the game. Let's see. Over there are the windmills. Don't want to make that turn, sorry. Oops. Okay, and then, so I'm probably a little bit further than I want to be now for the pattern turn in. Where is the airport? Is it all the way back there already? Yeah, it's right here. Okay, so... Oh shit, I'm already making the turn. And before I make the turn, I'm supposed to look the other way to make sure that there isn't traffic, and then turn. Ah! Morey Field, 3477 Echo, making downwind to base turn. Morey Field. That's gonna need so much practice. Oh, way further than standard rate there. And I am... I think I need to turn a little bit more. And I also don't want to overshoot the runway, so I already need to turn again. Morey Field, 3477 Echo, short final. No, that's not right. Base to final. How do you indicate a turn? Turning final? Morey Field. So yeah, I shouldn't be saying all of that. Oh, and I've totally overshot the runway. Look, it's way over there. Okay, so turning back around, reducing power in order to come in. This might be one of those times when it's like clearly a time to go around. I'm putting out flaps. I don't have time to look at the checklist, so I'm sort of going off of instinct here, which is actually enough of a reason to go around. I should not be going off of instinct. I should be... Okay, so what do? I put power to a higher setting. I then adjust the flaps. You always do the power first, then the flaps. You fly the plane first before you get on the comms channel. So I'm trying to stabilize things. I'm increasing power. Morey Field, 3477 Echo, making a go-around, runway 10, Morey. And I should say traffic as well, Morey traffic, okay. Okay, so, again, gaining altitude here. I'm going to go up until I reach roughly 2,000 feet. There again is the highway. Okay, so I'm going to enter the base, the pattern again. Morey traffic, 3477 Echo, entering pattern on the left, Morey Field. Okay, so again, I need to reduce a little bit of power. I'm off of the dangerous part of that turn. Once again, I am basically turning to the north here. I'm going to follow the highway a little bit more because I don't want to overshoot again. Morey traffic, 3477 Echo, turning downwind, Morey traffic. Standard rate. Still need to do a little bit of climbing to enter the pattern altitude of roughly 2000 ASL. Turning roughly west to 280. Okay. And then again, I need to reduce power back to 1800 RPM. It's at 2000. That's about 1800. Oh, a little bit of turbulence there. Don't want to be turning out of the pattern. Okay, so I'm pretty much right at pattern altitude, maybe a little high, but that's fine. Let's look, see. That's much better, but I'm turning. Oh, hard to control. Again, I'm doing this with keyboard and mouse, really just trying my best. I think I turned a little bit too far there. I have to go a little bit back. Okay, and then again, I am... fuck. It's so hard to do this. I'm gonna look. Airport is... Why is it always... As soon as I look, it like turns away again. It's very hard to do these minute controls here. Okay. That's roughly stable. Airport's passed, so I'm probably out of the pattern again, but I'm gonna do this. Morey traffic, 3477 Echo, turning base, Morey Field. Oh, that's further than standard rate. Okay. Coming around. I really don't have any time to look at the beautiful scenery around me. Don't get distracted by that. Okay, I'm gonna be reducing power a little bit more. Again, I should be looking out the window for the airport. Fuck, I can't see it. But I know it's there. Hold on. Okay, so I do have a little bit further to go. And a little bit further to turn, because I'm turning away from it. Definitely didn't fly a proper pattern there, either. But I guess that's why you practice. Again, looking, it's not... I have to, like, manually do this to look. Okay. I feel like I'm a bit low, so I'm going to increase a little bit of power. Morey traffic, 3477 Echo, turning final. Morey. Oh, standard rate, come on. So in terms of altitude here, I'm currently about 500, 600 feet off the ground. I definitely overshot it again a little bit. So I'm going to double back, but I'm in a much better position now because I think I can correct for this a lot easier. And I'm a little low, but I'm, you know, in a recoverable position. I don't have to worry about a landing gear because I'm in the Cessna 172, and that is, you know, permanently down. Oh, engine should probably be at idle at this point. I don't think I need to use flaps because, you know what, while I was doing all that, I didn't check my thing again. I do think I need to increase power here a little bit. And I'm gonna full throttle this out because, first off, there was a little bit of an alignment issue. I probably could have fixed that. But I once again did not check the checklist, and I've got plenty of fuel to go around and try this again. And I'm not afraid to do it. So, yeah, okay, so hopefully this time will be better. Alright, so once again, Morey traffic, 3477 Echo, doing a go-around Morey Field. Alright, so altitude going up. I never set the flaps, so the flaps are still back. I'm going to leave power the way it is for the time being. There's the highway. I'm going to fly out over the highway, and then I'll be doing my turn. Morey traffic, 3477 Echo. What is this called? I don't know what this turn is called. Short field? Alright, Morey. Whatever. I'm making a turn. Left turn. Alright. Flattening out a bit. Oh. Turbulence. Okay. It's to be expected. Morey traffic, 3477 Echo, downwind turn. Morey. Standard rate, damn it. Again, trying to line myself up with 280. And I'm gonna look out the window and see if I've done that. That's pretty good. Okay, don't turn. Come on, stay even. I'm correcting for it, going back to 280. Altitude is currently about 300 feet below pattern altitude, but I'm still going up. Very hard to keep the plane straight right now. There is actually a little bit of turbulence. And again, remember, keyboard controls, so it's not like perfect yoke control here. I am straying a little bit too far to the west. And I should be watching the field. I need to go a little further for the pattern. Oh, checklists, that's right. Okay, so let me try to fly the plane and look at the checklist at the same time. Checklist. Fuck. I'm trying to like look at the other computer while I'm doing this. So I'm like looking at two different computers rather than like at my lap or something. Okay, so cruise 2000 to 2700 RPM, trim with the elevator. Yeah, I've already been doing that. Mixture should be lean at this point, not rich. Okay. And then before landing, check your seatbelts, check that the mixture is once again rich for landing so that I guess you can do a go-around. Landing light is on, radios are set, carb heat is on. Landing, you should do it at about 60 knots, flaps should be full. Fuck, I'm way off course, by the way. I can fix that, though. Okay. I should probably have told Morey traffic something. Morey traffic 3477 Echo, exiting the pattern to the west, Morey Field. Okay, so they know. And then as far as touchdown, slowest possible airspeed, mains first, lower nose gently, braking minimum required after landing, wing flaps up, etc. Mixture, lean when required, lights off. Cool. Okay. Oh! I should fly the plane! I'm looking at the checklist. Okay, so that was probably dangerous in its own right for looking at that, but I guess I'm glad I did it. My instincts were correct on using the flaps originally, but in that scenario, on the last landing attempt, I think I was fine to do without it. So at this point, I am just looking around in the airspace to see other planes, and before doing this left-hand turn, I probably should have raised my my wingtip a little bit. My left wingtip, that is, to look for traffic before turning. I am now reducing power a little bit, but not a ton. I need to get down to, what was it, 1800 RPM again? A bit above that. Shit. So definitely screwed up the pattern on this one, but I see the lakes, so let's see, what's my heading? Okay, I'm gonna do another turn. I again should have checked for traffic, that's my bad. Okay, but the thing is that the lake is there, so the runway should actually be off to my right. What? I'm so confused. And the fact is that I'm only at like 2,800? Okay, 2,900 feet is like 1,000 feet above the pattern, so at this point I think I am fine. Even though I would have been like going into oncoming traffic. So once again, I'm going to turn to the north. I'm looking at the heading indicator. I'm going at the standard rate turn. I know that you can exceed standard rate turns, but I'm told that that is like a good angle to turn at, so that's what I'm doing. I'm going to turn all the way back around. I am going to reduce power a little bit more and point the nose a little bit more down so that I'm not gaining altitude. In fact, I want to lose a little bit of altitude probably. See, such an originally simple idea to just do one loop in the pattern has turned into this mega thing. As far as fuel is concerned, I'm probably fine because I have a range of like 600. I don't know, a lot. But yeah, so I burned like another gallon and a half. Okay. So I'm going roughly west. The runway should be off to my left. I don't see it, and I'm trying to control my plane in the meantime, so it's a little bit hard. Where the hell is it? It should be over here, I thought. Oh, I'm definitely turning. I can feel that. Okay, so I'm lost. I know that there's a way to, like, ask, you know, for help. So I would, like, radio into Middleton Tower or something. But okay, so I've got the heading. I know where the lakes are. I'm going to do VFR flight rules, and I'm fairly certain that that I'm out of the shelf at this point, so I'm fine in that regard. And I'm not going to ask Middleton for help. I know I probably should, but I'm not going to. Instead, I'm going to use visual references to figure out where I am. So first off, point the wing. I didn't really look long enough to identify traffic, and I know that, but flight first, I think, is most important. And I was about to lose control of the plane, so I'm kind of fine with that. In order to re-enter the pattern, you should do that at a 45-degree angle on the downwind run, or if you don't intend to enter the pattern and just land, I think you can do a straight-in landing, just so long as you don't see any traffic. Okay, I'm at about 2,350 feet. I'm heading roughly south, so it should be over there. I know it's over there, I just don't see it. What the hell? It has to be over there. Hold on. What the fuck? Oh, nope. I can feel the wing turning. Okay, so I think it's where my cursor is. Hold on. So I know that this is University or Century Avenue, or Airport Road, rather, sorry. No, that's University, that's right. Okay, so this is University. Airport Road is over there. So the airport is here. It's right there. Or maybe here. No, it's there. Okay, right, and I see the beacon and the landing lights. Right, okay, so University is a great reference. By the way, my office is down in there. So, and the lakes are really great. Okay, so what do I have to do? I'm gonna turn to the right. I'm gonna double back around, and then I'm gonna enter the pattern at a 45-degree angle once I'm comfortable, and then come into land. Okay, so back in the cabin seat here. I don't have to make any common frequency calls, but I do have to scan the sky for other planes. And I actually don't remember if I set any other planes to be in the sky. I don't think there are any other planes in the sky in the game, but the fact that I don't know means that I will still be looking. Plus, I should be looking no matter what I do, because this is trying to be a real simulator experience. I'm almost certainly failing in many, many different respects, and I understand that, but I'm trying. This is so that I learn and improve. Okay, so again, looking at the this side. I am not looking at my heading indicator, so I should be. I'm supposed to be flying to the north, so I'm going to make another turn. What I was doing was I was looking out for the airport, and I realized I couldn't see it, and that's when I realized I was flying the wrong direction because I didn't recognize the landscape again. Okay, so I know that the runway isn't perfectly east-west, but it's pretty close. And so flying just straight north is not the worst idea, because that'll put me at like a 90 degrees to the airport. Altitude is 3,300 feet, so I actually want to come down a little bit, so I'm going to reduce a little bit of power. The way I understand it is, all else being the same, if I reduce power and like maintain the same attitude, my altitude should decline. And I don't really see that happening very quickly. That's probably because I only like adjusted it like 1%. Okay, so I am going the right way, but I'm turning again because I fucked up. Okay, so yeah, altitude is going down, but just slowly, and probably more because my nose is pointed a little bit further down than I should have it. So I'm once again gonna reduce power a little bit. You can hear the propeller or the engine like turn down a little bit. I think the road that I'm passing over right now is once again University down below, up ahead to the left basically, and it's going towards Cross Plains. I wonder if I can actually see that. That was a cool view, but that's not what I was wanting to look at. I wanted to look over here. I'm looking at this road as it goes in that way. Might be easier to check on the other side. Yeah, okay, so yeah, this is totally Cross Plains down in here. Right, so there's like this might, I hope this is not confirmation bias, but I think that's the grocery store. I think that's the gas station. There's that angled road, right? So I should be flying like right over the astronomy spot, basically. And yeah, there's those paths, and the shape of the road is correct as well. Okay, so basically, here's the runway. Yeah, I see it. I see the runway. Runway in sight. There's the lakes. This is Lake Mendota out in the distance, and even further out is Monona. It's the right shape. Good, okay. And then this is like Highway P or something, and it basically goes up this way towards Springfield Corners. Okay, back on the controls. I want to go a little past the runway in order to double back east and have enough space to enter the pattern at a 45-degree angle. Now, I could have come in straight, I know, but I think this is good practice, so I'm going to do it. What time is it? Wow, I've been flying, or not flying, but I've been in this game for so long, doing all these checks. It's crazy. I think next time will be quicker, now that I've basically been doing it once. But yeah, we'll see. My friend is asking me if I'm off work tomorrow, because tomorrow is Labor Day. I think so, but now I'm worried. You know, I don't want to stay up too late, and it is already, like, kind of too late. But I don't want to have get-there-itis. I don't need to get on the ground just yet. I am tired, but there's more that needs to happen before I get there, and I'm having a ton of fun. So, anyway, I'm gonna turn towards the east. I once again did not check. If there was traffic. Okay. It is really hard to do that, admittedly. Oh, there's the windmills down below. Okay, so I definitely know where I am. Okay. I think I probably won't. I don't know. I probably should check under the wing to get in the habit of doing that, right? But it's so hard to like actually look for traffic when I'm doing that, because like it's easier to get lost, right? And it's really easy to like lose control of the plane, especially in the game. So I don't know. I think I will do it. and I'm going to continue berating myself for not having done so. But yeah. One thing that I'm not doing that I really don't want to... I don't think this will affect me right now, but one thing that I'm not doing right now is I'm not using the rudder at all. And I know that I really should be using the rudder in proper flight, but the reason is because if I use the rudder, the entire thing is going to lose control, because it doesn't have like the ability to like do a small correction with the rudder. It's like all or nothing, and it will lose. For some reason, every time I use the rudder, it'll like delete my trim settings, and so I'll either like climb into a stall or plunge, and that's no fun. So, okay, so I have to be looking out for the airport at this point, off to the... I've got a little further to go. I didn't actually see the airport in that time, but I did see where the lake was, and I do have to go a little further. What's my altitude? It's too low. That's what my altitude is. I'm going to increase power a little bit again. I wasn't paying enough attention to the altitude there. I should be at about 2,000 feet, and instead I'm at like 1,300. So I'm going to increase power and point my nose up a little bit. I'm looking at my airspeed. It's falling, so I don't think the power's high enough. That might be too much, admittedly. Also, I don't think I ever corrected my mixture ratio. Hold on. Oh, you know what? What am I saying? My altitude was fine. I misread it. I'm actually at 3,300 now. Alright, well, I'm going to initiate my turn now towards the south. Okay. I'm gonna sit a little high in my seat and look around. Okay, so the airport is like dead ahead. So really I want to be a little bit further over. So I'm just gonna follow the highway. That'll put me in a fairly good spot. What's my altitude? It's still high. In fact, it went further up. My nose is still a little high, admittedly. And I wouldn't be able to see the runway unless I was like looking straight down or sitting really high in my seat to get over the dashboard. So admittedly, it's a little unrealistic to follow that at this point. But I am looking at the lake, and I know where the lake juts inward in that bay. Roughly aligns with where the actual runway is. Visual cues. And my altitude still is not coming down. So I'm gonna really reduce power. I'm gonna start turning here. There's the runway. My altitude is still going down, but it's not low enough yet. Morey traffic 3477 Echo entering pattern from the downwind side. Morey. That was not really correct, I don't think. Especially since I'm not really in it yet, but that's fine because I'm still going down in altitude, and they should probably know where I am and what I'm intending to do. That's my philosophy on that. So at this point, I'm going to turn in to the pattern. I know I'm still not quite at the right altitude. I'm about 1,000 feet above pattern altitude, but, you know, is what it is, I guess. Let me look at the... That's probably why my RPMs are still really high. I'm like trying to reduce those, but it's like a little laggy. Alright, so I should be at like, I don't know, 16, 1700. Okay. Let's look. Okay. Morey traffic, 3477 Echo. Base turn, Morey. Can't see shit. Okay. Morey traffic, 3477 Echo. Final turn, Morey. Okay. I'm like now at pattern altitude. There's the business park. I've definitely overshot again. Oh my god. Okay, so I do still have time to correct for this. So I'm going to turn a little further than I have to. Or than I would otherwise do. And, okay, so I've paid attention to the thing. Mixture should be lean. Actually, no, it should be rich, because I might have to do a go-around again, right? And, landing lights. Fuck. I need to fly the plane. Landing lights, taxi lights. Let's look around. Okay, let's fly the plane. Flaps. I need to get lined up. I still have time to line up properly. It is a little close, but I am still in. It's okay. Like I can do this, I think. Okay. Gotta make that turn now. Make sure that I'm not going too low over the trees. Trying to line up with the runway. That's pretty good, but I can do better. Come on. There's no wind, or there's very little wind, rather. Oh, okay. This is fairly decent. Okay, I'm aiming for... I was aiming for the numbers before, but now I'm like looking further down the runway to make sure that I'm lined up. And flare. I said flare, damn it. I said flare! Oh, you know what? I didn't drop the engine power. That's why. Oh, shit! That's a hard landing. So that would probably have... I have enough runway, right? So in that sense, I would have been fine, but I shouldn't have just dropped the left wing there. That was a mistake on controls, but I think it was a mistake that I wouldn't have made if I was using a yoke, to be honest. I think that was a like an error in terms of like a keyboard, like, oh, I shouldn't have like misclicked, basically. So very hard landing, but we lived to tell the tale, and hopefully the plane isn't too damaged. But here we are. And you know what? It occurred to me I never announced to Morey Traffic that I was landing. Morey Traffic, 3477 Echo, taxiing, Morey? I don't know if you're supposed to say that or you have to say that. I should probably be moving a little bit more quickly here. Mixture should be lean at this point, but not like nothing. So I'll put it there. And then I gotta taxi the rest of the way in. So I have to increase the throttle a little bit here. I noticed that like 12,000 is enough to get me moving, so there we go. Right. Okay. So I'm just gonna taxi back. I wonder what time it is in game. I'll look it up when I get back in. You know, I'm sure I did a ton of things wrong, right? But that was fun. And I mean, I lived to tell the tale. Survived the landing. And, you know, it's probably not the worst you've seen. Or have heard about. Which, I mean, I'm not proud of. It's nothing to be proud of. But, I mean, it is cool. It would be a lot more difficult if there were, you know, planes flying around here with me. But the important thing about this is I just wanted to make sure that I'm, you know, doing everything right, you know, in terms of, like, fundamental principle and whatnot. And trying to get the details right as much as possible as well. Oh, I should be following my procedure to shut off and whatnot, instead of just doing it manually here by memory. Wing flaps. Up. Transponder stays on alt. Carb heat should be cold. Once again, no idea where the carb heat is. Strobes and landing off. Trim, reset. It's already done. Mixture, lean when required. I think it's kind of lean. It doesn't actually have a shut-off procedure here. Let's try the other checklist. Let's see. One also doesn't have a shut-off procedure, so I'll just do this myself. I'm going to turn off the avionics. I am going to pull the mixture all the way to lean. Okay. I am going to turn... Oh, this is already off. Okay, so I guess we'll turn the master off now. And I will get my things. I'll take off my headset. This is, again, weird and fucked up. Don't know what's going on there. I will leave the plane. I will tie down... oh, by the way, the parking brake is set. I've already done that. Oh, you know what? It has a securing airplane section, and I didn't see that. Okay, so brake set, did that already. Avionics master switch, I did that first, so that was good. Okay, mixture, idle, cutoff, cool. And then turn off the master switch, cool. Turn off the ignition switch. So apparently it did that for me. Or maybe I didn't. Alright, so now it's off. Okay, so there it is, off. And then you have to switch the master switch off. So I did that in the wrong order. Okay, and then control wheel lock, put that back in. And then, of course, make sure that you have the yokes in place. And then, once you exit the plane, ensure all tie-downs, covers, and plugs are in place. Right. Interestingly, this procedure also has, like, what to do in case of, like, an engine fire or a forced landing or a, you know, a restart procedure, so that's kind of cool. I might practice that once I have all of this, you know, under wraps, and I can actually fly a pattern correctly instead of overshooting or getting to the wrong altitude or well, now that I know the procedure for doing it, I'm not going to have to look at that, I think, again. So now that I know that it's Like, make sure that your landing lights are on and your mixture's at rich, and you've like made your ATC, or rather common calls, and you've got your flaps out, right? Like, basically, I'm familiar with it now, so as long as I got that right and I don't have to correct anything about it, and B, that I remember to do it, then I should be good to go. So anyway, let me exit the plane. Again, it has the fake engine noise when I don't have the engine running, so I'm going to have to remember to ask the forums about that. But, you know, there we are. And, oh yeah, I was going to check the time. We started at 10:30 a.m., and it's almost 3 hours later. So it's been a good day at the airport, folks. Anyway, I would not believe it if you're still watching at this point. But if you are, thank you. Please tell me what I need to fix. I'm trying to learn here, and I can't do that if I don't know what I'm doing wrong. So, anyway, I guess I'll call it there. Thank you so much for watching. I don't know what the validate button does. No idea. Okay. Maybe it like adds it to my logbook or something. Pretty cool. Love this game.